OMG. I am here with Mac McAbee. Am I saying that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. This fabulous man is here to talk about all the things about the beauty industry. And I'm very excited about this because I just recorded and aired an episode last week about lies the beauty industry tells us. So, Mac, I don't know, you probably didn't know that, but this is perfect timing. So let's just introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, why we should know you. Go.
Well, uh, my name is Mac McAbee. My Instagram handle, Mac Does Hair. I have been doing hair. I was trying to do the math this morning, and I've been doing it this long. You kind of like lose count how many years you've been doing it. It's somewhere between the 18 and 20 range.
Love.
Because when you're having fun, like, who counts the years?
Yeah.
It's that kind of saying. Like, I still hustle. Like, I've been doing it for a year. It's just kind of been like that. The beginning of my career, I started in Western North Carolina, and then I was a national educator for John Paul Mitchell Systems.
Love.
I moved to Charleston, South Carolina in 2010. Started working at a salon that was a fellow educator's salon. And then about a year after I started working for her, she decided to sell the salon and sold it to another team member that was on her Paul Mitchell team. And then about 3 months later, I got fired. Yeah. I always say that, like, I got fired because I was motivated and I was trying to do things outside of the salon to really promote myself.
Yeah.
This was like the beginning of social media. Like, Instagram still was only like just for iPhones at that point. So like a lot of Facebook and everything. And I was doing things outside of the salon, like Charleston Fashion Week, everything. And because it took me out of the salon, I guess I suspended for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, so when I came back in, a couple of my clients were just kind of like, "Oh my God, like, is everything okay back home?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Well, they canceled my appointments because they said you had a family emergency back home." And I was like, "No, they lied to you." Well, the owner sitting right beside me in the chair next to me. And I was like, "Oh no, they just lied to you. Like, I didn't have a family emergency. I got suspended for 2 weeks because I was doing Charleston Fashion Week." And so it was about 3 weeks after that I got called in and was asked to leave the team. And I had my little pretty woman moment. I slammed my hands in on the front desk and I was like, "It was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Everybody's going to know who I am and nobody's going to know who you are." No. I had been doing a lot of freelance stuff, like doing photo shoots, and the makeup artist that I had been working with had just opened a little studio. And so I got fired on a Wednesday and started taking clients at that studio on Friday. Went independent. So it was like in the very beginning of that. It was very common in the South for people to be renters before it kind of took off everywhere.
Which I love that, by the way. First of all, I love Charleston. I love it. I love it. And so, yeah, like the South has always been renting before it was cool. And all of a sudden the industry is like, "Oh, you should rent." And everybody's like, we have been.
We've been doing this. We've been doing this.
Nice of you to catch up. Anyways, continue.
Exactly. So I worked in the salon setting. It was actually really cool. He had taken over the lease from an older hairdresser who was still working there. So Linda Jones was a legend in Charleston. Still is a legend in Charleston.
Hey, Linda.
And she would talk the stories that she would tell us. Like, I mean, she had her first salon on King Street I think she opened in like 68 or like the early 70s on King Street, close to Calhoun, which like you did not go to Calhoun back then. But it's the building was amazing. It's now where Urban Outfitters is on King Street. It's an old theater, and she had 30 hairdressers that worked for her.
Wow.
And she had a massive walkout. And when she had this massive walkout, the stylist that left, I'm going to say names that probably nobody's ever going to, like, younger hairdressers have no idea, but Dubois, London Hair, the huge hair cutter. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I've met people at hair shows and they were like, "Oh my god, do you know Frances Dubois?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "She's a legend." And then I'd be at hair
Wow.
shows like when I was with Paul Mitchell, I'd be like Orlando and a premiere, and they'd be like, "Oh, I know a hairdresser from way back in the day in Charleston, Linda Jones," and I'm like, "Yeah, I work with her." They were like,
That
"Legend,
is
legend."
incredible.
So, but yeah, so the space was just all like kind of creatives, and I really built. It gave me the opportunity to build Mac Does Hair there, and we were doing like tons of photo shoots all the time, and then that was kind of like the inception around that time was when I went to a dinner one night after Charleston Fashion Week, and a good friend of mine, Leva Bonaparte, which many will know her from Southern Charm and Southern
Yep.
Hospitality umbrella.
Yep.
She was
Yep.
like, "Hey," she's like, "there's producers. Cam's already signed up to do this reality show. Bring lots of models with you and everything." And she was trying to pitch me for the show. She was like, "He is the hairdresser. He knows everybody's secrets and everything." So me and the producer did not get along that night. And they were like, "Well, you look like you're from Brooklyn." And I was like, "Well, I'm actually from the South. So
Yeah.
you're not." Um, and that producer will remain unnamed.
That is totally fine. It's totally fine.
But you know, and so we were doing tons of fashion shoots. We were doing Charleston Fashion Week, and then I started working on the first season of Southern Charm. So I worked with Catherine Dennis the first season, Thomas Ravenel the first season. I created the iconic redhead that Catherine was, and everything in the very beginning. So I worked with her on season 1, and then I didn't work with her on season 2, and then started working with her again on season 3. And then I was like, it's I'm building a business in Salon, and it's constantly pulling me out of the salon to do this. And this is about the time that I kind of left Paul Mitchell as a national educator, and I was just
Okay.
kind of like, I need to focus on my business. I need to build my business and my clientele. And so I dabbled in the reality world and everything, and then Charleston at that point there was a huge fashion underground, creative underground. In this time period, people started moving away. They were getting opportunities in New York and other places. Everybody was moving to LA, and everything. And like one of the creator of Charleston Fashion Week, she left Charleston to go live in New York, and I think she was like the style editor for Ebony.
Wow.
She's like the personal stylist for, I think, Chance the Rapper. I think is who she's styling now. So these people all
Charleston.
came from
All from
Charleston,
Charleston.
from this like explosion of creativity and everything. And then so everybody started leaving, and then I was working in this one space, and then I was like, I had a couple friends moved to LA, and I was like, me and my husband, I was like, I'm ready for a change. My
Yeah.
clients were telling me like, they were like, "You're the best in Charleston." I was like, "Stop telling me I'm the best. I don't want to be the best. I want to continue to grow and everything." So I eventually, like, I heard it enough to where I was like, "Well, if I'm the best in Charleston, there's nowhere else to go, so I want to go somewhere else." So me and my husband, we literally picked up everything. I walked away from a full clientele
Holy
to LA.
crap. Oh
Yeah,
my
like
lord.
just blindly moved to LA, no jobs lined up, nothing. I had some good friends in the industry out there, so I had some connections, and an amazing hairdresser, Jay Small. He
Mm-hmm.
owns a Red,
Okay.
the Wrinkle Cream for Hair. And I worked with him with Paul Mitchell, and so he was a huge support when I went to LA. He actually opened up his little studio and allowed me to take clients there when he wasn't working. And I was like, "Oh, I'm moving to LA. Like all these things are going to happen." Every salon that I interviewed at were like, "No, not a good fit," or, "Oh, you don't have a clientele," or it was like, "Do you do any influencers hair?" And I was like, "No, like what's an influencer?" Like
Yeah,
I wasn't
because
a thing in
Instagram.
Charleston at that point. Like, I mean,
No.
Instagram's still in its infancy at this point and everything. So it was just kind of like, I just had so many doors just like closing in my face when I
Mm.
was in LA and everything. And I was just
Yeah.
like, and one thing, I mean, I love LA. I still go out to do like classes and, have great relationships. Actually, the one salon that gave me the time of day when I moved to LA was Beaumain. And Drea and Sunny, they're absolutely amazing. And they interviewed me. They were like, like, you don't have a clientele right now, but you're doing all the right things. So keep working at Dry Bar, keep doing that. And I was working at the Dry Bar on Sunset.
Yeah.
I hated that experience. But it
It's
but it
so
did.
funny. Like, we got to do what we got to do, you know? And like, we
I
hate
had
it,
bills
but it
to
like,
pay.
yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I
Continue.
was still doing hair. I wasn't a barista somewhere.
Right.
So, but a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, she was a lead educator for Dry Bar. So she was over
Okay.
a couple of the shops and everything. And she was like, just do it. Like, it's a paycheck at least. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I will say it was a horrible experience, but it did teach me to be a better blow dryer. I will say. Now I'm known for my finishes. Where before
See?
that, like I did a good blowout, but like I can do a bomb blowout. Like, and
It's
then,
next
and
level now.
well, yeah. And it's like, I mean, they taught you speed. They taught you like not to second guess yourself and really thinking about product choices,
Yeah.
and everything. And I was actually really surprised in LA. People were like, "Oh, no product." I was like, "What do you mean no product? Like, I'm from the South. Like, you
What?
product in this hair." But
What?
they would be like, "No product in my blowout," and I'm like, "Okay." And some of
How
them
is it going to
surprised me.
stay, baby? How is it going to stay?
I
Okay.
mean, I saw one of my clients like hours later, like walking down the street, and her hair still looked good. I was like, "But there's no humidity in it." So I was like,
Uh-huh.
I learned a lot of stuff, but
Okay.
I'm still a fan of products.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit me with that shine
Still a fan.
spray. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Um, so LA taught me a lot, but then, opening up that relationship with Beaumaine and Drea
Mm-hmm.
and Sonny,
Mm-hmm.
it was about 2 months after I interviewed Beaumaine. I got a DM for Drea, and she was like, "Hey, like my friend's producing a movie, and I saw you have production on your resume, and none of my stylists are interested in this." She was like, "Would you be interested in working on this movie?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Absolutely." So she connected me, and then I went through everything, and they hired me to do hair. I was the only hairdresser on this. So I was like, okay, I'm taking no direction from anybody except for right from the director. And it was an independent, but it was still SAG. So I
Yeah.
ended up, like, one of the actresses in it was Elaine Hendricks, who made up Blake for the character. So it was a ton of incredible actors. Um, so it was a really cool experience and a really dark time in LA,
Yeah.
because like when I was in LA, I was like, maybe I don't need to do like, because
Mm.
I kind of, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want to piss people off in LA, but I found that LA was a city where you didn't have to be talented to make it. It
Mm.
was all in who you knew.
I've heard
And
this.
it's a controversial statement, and
Yeah.
it's not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
But 9 times out of 10, it was all because I didn't have the connection. I wouldn't get a job.
Yeah.
I saw people around me kind of succeeding that like really weren't that good. And I'm like, oh
Mm.
wow, okay. If this is what this is, then I don't know if I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I had gotten into a really dark place. I worked on this movie. Watching these other professionals love what they do and just everything kind of renewed me back into hair.
Mm-hmm.
While I was working on this movie, I got a call from a good friend of mine who we had worked together in Charleston. We had done Fashion Week and everything, but we were really good friends. We were part of the same friend group, but we didn't work in the same salon. And she had left Charleston and she had gone on tour with a Broadway show. She had done Green Day's American Idiot. She did their world tour.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, she was working on Broadway and she was taking shows to Broadway, and she had become like a wig maker. She's incredible. She now works in my salon, which is incredible. Um, she's so talented. But she gave me a call and she was like, "Hey, like, I need somebody to go out on the road with a show because we just lost our hair and makeup supervisor, and it's not a heavy wig show; it's a heavy cut and color show." And I was like, "Okay, well, I can cut and color, and like, I'm down. Like, I've
Yeah.
always wanted to like explore that side of our industry." And I was like, "But what show is it for?" And she was like, "It's the 20th anniversary tour of Brand." I'm like,
Shut up.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
So
hell yeah, sign me up. Let's go.
yeah.
Let's right now.
I mean, I saw the original cast of Rent on Broadway when I was like 14, and it changed
Full
my life
circle. Oh
because
my God.
I was a little gay kid in Western North Carolina. I thought I was the only person like me, and I thought it was just
Yeah.
like there wasn't much representation. back in like 93, 94.
Yeah.
Especially in a small town in Western North Carolina. So when I saw this on Broadway, I was like, okay, there's more of me out there. You just
Yeah.
have to find them. You're just not in the
Yeah.
place. So that really helped. That show was a very pivotal in my teen years. And then to be like 20 years later, 25 years later, like now touring with this show, like was incredible. But
Yeah.
then with any opportunity, like as you're kind of in it, you're like, is this for me or is this not for me? Because I will try anything, but I also
Yeah.
know kind of like when like this is not really serving me anymore. This is not really what I want to do.
Mhm.
So I was on tour. We were just like in like a North American tour. So I left LA, drove my car back to like Charleston, dropped my car off, flew back to Vegas and joined tour. And then my friend Natalie trained me for a week, and then I was just on my own. So I
God.
finished that leg of the tour, and I was just like, hey guys, like, I'm going to be real honest. This is not what I want to do with my life. Like, I have a husband, I have dogs. Like, most people that tour just don't have anything back home.
Yeah.
And that's their life. And I was like, and I miss the personal connection with people. I was
Yeah.
like, I miss building these relationships and seeing new people all the time. And also, like, being around other hairdressers. Like, something about being around other hairdressers just, like, kind of like lights this fire back into me
Yeah.
and everything. So I was just kind
Yep.
of like, I think I'm going to leave tour. So I trained my replacement, Ulitzian. She's amazing. She lives in LA. She's an incredible hairdresser. And she ended up doing the rest of the tour with them. And I mean, I had an opportunity. I was supposed to go to Japan and China. And I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know. Like, if I'm not in it in the States, then I'm not going to be in it
Yeah.
overseas.
It's going to be overwhelming and you're going to be
Yes.
homesick and it was just
Yes.
going to be a nightmare. No, no, no.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, not
Yeah.
for me. I
No.
did get to see a lot of parts of like the United States that
Yeah.
I will never go back to. There were like we did a lot of one nighters in some really small towns, and I was like, why are we with rent here? Like, why?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even though there might have been 20 people in those crowds, but when I looked out into that audience, I was like, there were those 14-year-old kids. That was me one
Oh.
day. That was me
Yeah.
back in the day that are now seeing this show and being like, there are more of me out there. So I was
Yes.
like, okay. I felt like I was really helping like with this message and this beautiful show
Life
and
purpose
everything.
fulfilled right there.
Life
Yeah.
purpose fulfilled. So it was like a full circle moment, but it just wasn't fulfilling me. And so I literally left tour, and my husband had moved back to Charleston while I was on tour from LA. And we didn't know what we were going to do when I came off the tour, but we had a lease in our apartment here in Charleston for about 3 more months. So when I came home from tour, I just like laid low for a month. I just like didn't reach out to anybody. I was like, I just need to
Yeah.
recoup from this. And then I reached out to my friend who I'd worked in the studio with before, the makeup artist, and I was like, hey, like I just need a chair, like I just need to see some clients, just get back into the swing of things. And he was like, absolutely, we have plenty of chairs available. So I go to move my stuff in that Monday, and he's like, just so you know, the lease is up in a month and we're going to close the salon. And I was like,
Shoot.
okay. So I propositioned him. I was like, so what if you guys keep the salon? You're a makeup artist and you have a business partner, but let me run it. I was like, I'm the hair guy. Like, let me run it and everything. And they were like, nope, we've kind of gone down that road before. It just didn't work for us. So we're just going to close it. We just want to like wash our hands of it. We've lost a lot of money over the last couple of years. And I was like, okay. So I went home and I just like in the back of my head, I'm not talking about any of this to my husband. And then I go back and I proposition. I was like, what if I take over the lease? And they were like, well, you don't really have a lot of income to show because you've been on tour for a year and you've been on a very small salary. So we don't know if you'll be able to get the lease. But what if we do a lease for 1 more year and then we sublease it to you? And then at the end of that, you can decide whether you want to continue and take over the lease or call it quits. So a month later, I took over the lease of this space and opened Come and Haircraft.
Oh my God.
And then we've now, June of this year, we've been open for 8 years. So, yeah.
I love that. And I love that because you had to go through all of the stuff that we just talked about, all of it. So you can sit here, talk to me and talk to everybody else watching and listening and wear that fabulous coven hat and be like, hey, come see me, hear my story, hear me roar. Like, that's beautiful.
And it was crazy because, like, I literally had been back in Charleston for a month.
Yeah.
All my clients on when I moved to LA, I gave them to all my talented friends that were hairdressers.
Yeah.
And so I just assumed that, like, if I came back to Charleston, all my clients would just, like, jump back into my chair. That was not the case. Like, it was like a trickle of them coming back. And some of my OGs, like, I'm still happy to say that, like, I have clients that I see sitting in chairs and stylist chairs in my salon now that I have done since that first salon that I worked in Charleston. And they have, like, been a part of my journey from the very, very beginning in Charleston. But now they trust the team that I have trained to sit in their chairs. And so that makes me very, very happy that I've done my job.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about your husband? What does he do?
Well, he was a massage therapist at the beginning of me opening a salon.
Okay.
And he grew up in a salon. His grandmother was a hairdresser, and his grandfather, or his great-grandfather, his grandmother's father was barber in our home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're both from the same little small town in Western North Carolina.
Okay.
And, like, his great-grandfather was, like, the barber. Like, all the towns,
yes,
everything happened in that barber shop and everything.
You both have only known greatness.
Only. And you know, his grandmother, like, I mean, he was in there sweeping hair for her with her little like roller set clients, and he was like, she would have like him and his brother like do her base color and stuff like that. So he grew up in a salon, and I was like, you should go to hair school. And he's like, I've always kind of thought about it. He was like, and he was at a place with doing massage where like he was stuck in a quiet room, not talking to anybody for 12 hours a day. So it was like starting to affect him socially. Like, didn't want to be in big crowds and stuff. So I was like, dude, go to hair school. So with the connection with Paul Mitchell, I was like, let's just go tour Paul Mitchell to school here in Charleston. So we did. And of course, they were like rolling out the red carpet. They were like, oh my God, like, yes, let's get him here. Like, this is perfect. Like, and everything. So he ended up enrolling in Paul Mitchell to school. And then he was in school for about 2 weeks, and then COVID happened.
Oh, damn it, COVID. Oh.
Damn it, COVID. So he was a COVID hair school baby. So he was online for about 2 months. And at the same time, like, we're running a business, and we just had to close for 2 months. And I'm like, what's going on? But, you know, like, we were so young. And when I started the salon, like, kind of going back to the beginning of that, like, I had no business plan. I had no stylist. It was me, just me. And I was like, how am I going to pay this rent? Like, and so I started just like putting it out on like Facebook and Instagram, like, hey guys, I opened a salon. If you've ever wanted to work with me, if you like, I'm not just opening just any salon. It's going to be education focused. Like, and at that point, I was like, I just want to deal with independence. Like, I don't want to be responsible for anybody's livelihood. Like, booth renters only. And we started with a really good crew. And actually, my second interview, but first hire, is still with me 10 years later.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so with all of this, like, you have done pretty much everything. What are some things that you discovered that you were like, no freaking way? I thought the beauty industry was like this, and it is not. Like, we kind of already touched on LA, right? That they were not as talented as we thought they were. So
there's some really great talent in LA, but there's a lot of mediocre too.
Yeah, which that's surprising to me, right? And it kind of reminds me of like when you go to a networking event and you meet people and you're like, oh my God, you're a lawyer? You do not represent. Or like, you're a doctor, a surgeon? Babe, what? Why do you look like a wreck? You know, so what are just maybe like one or two things that you discovered and you're like, oh man, what's going on? You know?
Um, I mean, I think the biggest that I've had is like I was trained by like old school hairdressers,
Yeah.
like,
Mm.
and I kind of fit into this area where like I was really adaptable to new technology,
Yeah.
and but I have like the base of the foundation technical from the old school hairdresser. But I would think being that kind of bridge between them and the new school, that like I would understand the new school hairdresser a lot. I think my biggest challenge is new hairdressers.
Well, yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate to say the elephant in the
I
room,
know.
but
I know.
it is. And it's not like a lack of talent, it's not like a lack of drive. I feel like a lot of like life things, like these 20 something year old hairdressers, they don't see owning a house. So why are they working to try to buy a house when it's never attainable?
Mm.
But it's like finding what motivates them has been a huge challenge, I feel like, for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're not motivated by money.
Hmm.
They're
It's true.
they're not motivated by education. Like the only thing I can really kind of find that they are is time off. Is what they're
Oh my.
motivated by. Time off.
Okay. Okay.
Work life balance.
Okay. Okay. And the life is more, it's like, like that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. You
Yeah.
know, it is what it is. It is what it is, but sometimes you
Like,
just want to shake them.
and you do, and because I'm like, wow, like so much, you could do so much, like,
Yeah.
and I think one of my biggest challenges is like saying I see so much in this person because that's me
Yeah.
projecting what I want to see in them, and it's not what they're
Yeah.
willing to do.
Right.
So I had to stop that in the very beginning, and then when I opened the salon, like I had no idea what I was doing. I
Yeah.
had run my own business. Running my own business was so much different than running
Mhm.
5 other people and making sure everything is supplied for the salon and there's color. Luckily, we started in the beginning with renters, so that was all on them. And then, but after that first year, I ended up, we sat down and we had like, I wasn't paid $30,000 from the salon. Well, after that first year, I decided to move on. And so I signed the lease um, all by myself. And they ended up wiping the 30 grand because I had made them all of their money back from the 2 years that they were down in 1 year. I had made them all
Wow.
their money back. So they were like, we kind of see it as like, you've already paid the $30,000. We're out of debt. We're clean. So it's yours. So I had a
Wow.
lot of really good things happen that kind
Yeah.
of made my journey into salon ownership easy.
Yeah.
On the owning side, not the actual
Mm.
running of the salon
Right.
and
Right.
everything. And then, it was after COVID, there was a huge shakeup. I mean, I think that was true everywhere. Everybody just started moving around. And so we grew like crazy after COVID. And then I was having stylists reach out to me that were commissioned. They didn't want to go rental. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? What do I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
And then one of our consultants with Salon Centric was like, you should go to the summit like thing in Nashville.
Yes. I know what you're
And
talking about.
so, yeah, so we went to like the 3.5 day summit thing. And the whole 3.5 days, I was like, yes, I'm in. No, I'm not. Yes, I'm in. No, I'm not. All you want me to do is double book. I don't want to double book.
Yeah.
And we ended up like, we decided to go forward with it, but there was one of the speakers there who was a coach, and I just like gravitated towards her. And in our little one-on-one meeting, they ended up placing me with a different coach, and I was just like, well, that coach isn't here right now. So I have no connection to her, and I'm like, I'm not discrediting what she can do for me, but I have a connection to this one, and I'm gravitating towards her. I want her to be my coach. And she had kind of dialed back on coaching. She was kind of full. And so I had a conversation with her. I was just like, I want you to be my coach. I'm not going to do Summit unless you are my coach. And she was like, well, I'm not really taking on new accounts right now and everything. And I was like, well, okay, well, when you are, then that's when I'll join Summit. And so they had already sent in some paperwork. So they worked it out that a week later, after we got back from Nashville, we found out that Dana was going to be our coach. So I fought for her. And
Like, And I love that. And that is the importance of what we do. Yes, like every day behind the chair with our clients, but that's just the importance of human connection. And I feel like as creatives, as salon owners, that is our superpower. And for anybody watching or listening who's thinking about, who's an independent, who's thinking about having a business with employees and stuff, like that's important to have. Like if you don't have that, you need to hire a coach.
Yes. I mean, and I will say, like, I was just kind of like, we kind of set prices for each stylist as like where we kind of felt that they were. And, when they got to go up on their prices, it was not a structure to it. And
Yeah.
really, like, when we went in with Summit, like, it really changed the game for us.
Hmm.
And I actually was like, oh, this is a business. This isn't just like a hangout anymore. Like, we're not just like
Right.
hanging out doing hair. We're all making money, and everything.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, like, I mean, I just thought that's how it worked. Like, you hired people that
Right.
wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And, people just show up. I kind of thought that everybody had my work ethic, and it's not the case. And not everybody wants to be a leader. Not everybody wants to own a salon. And I had been like many friends, like through Paul Mitchell and everything, that had been salon owners. They were like, don't do it. Like, it's not worth it. Like, do not open a salon. It's like the most unrewarding thing in the world.
Are you kidding? People would straight up tell you that?
Yeah, absolutely. And some of my best friends that own salons, they were like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, you think it's going to be...
People tell me about wanting to get married. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. No, do it. Do it. It's one of the best
Absolutely.
things. So
wow.
In the back of my head, I was always like, why did I do this? Like, this is... But then when we got with Summit, I was just like, oh, okay, like, this is a real business, and they're going to teach me how to run this like a business.
Mm-hmm.
So when I opened, I was like, oh, I have to get an LLC. Oh, I have to have an LLC, and then I have to, like, register my name with the state so I can get a bank account. Like, I was learning all of this, like, as I was going.
Yeah.
So as we joined Summit, and then having a really strong, like, accountant that really has your really has like the future in mind. They were like, hey, like, if you really want to be taken serious and then actually really be able to scale this, because being an independent, owning an LLC, I couldn't work for the business. I was still an independent. So we ended up, they, coached me, and like, we ended up switching to an S Corp. And then now I can actually work for the business.
Yeah.
And we were in a good place when we took on Summit. We were in a cash flow. So we were doing pretty good, because with COVID, we got a PPP loan. We used it correctly. So it actually allowed us to end up like saving about 20 grand to sit on. Yeah. And so up until that point, I was working behind the chair to buy new salon chairs. I was working behind the chair to buy shampoo bowls. So it really kind of like changed the trajectory of the salon at that point. And then it actually coached me on how to be able to have stylists, having a level system. Now, do I think there are some things about some of that are a little like outdated? Absolutely. Like right now we're in a place where like it's like, a la carte versus package pricing and everything. Like, because a la carte is a little old school. And hair that we do today is not really a la carte. It's not just, we're not doing just like a full highlight anymore. Like, hanging them out, nape to hairline. Like, it's not happening.
It's not.
Like, there's like a lot of other things involved. So like, we're in that growth point right now to where like, like, where do we go pricing structure wise and everything? But the industry's changing, but you just have to be willing to, my favorite friend's reference is pivot.
That is the theme. That is, yes, like, yes, I love it. And, like, I just got back from Premiere not too long ago, or in the beginning of this month, like teaching classes and connecting with other stylists.
We weren't there this year.
Shame on you.
The salon hasn't gone.
Shame on you. What a year to miss. What a year to miss. Anyway.
I know. But last year, I did get to see the Chris McMillan on stage and got to meet him afterwards.
Good.
That was amazing.
Anyway, I love it. So the point is like pivot, and like your whole story, your whole like testimony right now has been about pivoting. Just pivot, and you can have multi passions, and you got to pour into yourself. And I feel like your whole story, you were like, I always wanted to do this. Let me do it. Okay, it's not serving anymore. Let me change it. Like the whole time. And that is exactly what everybody needs to hear and see and feel and experience. And that is huge for me. That's huge
because
for me,
you can
Mac.
sit there and you can beat a dead horse, and if it's not working, it's just not working. So you just kind of have to like make it work. And if that means changing something, then that means that you change it. And then, you know, it might not be forever, but it'll be for right now. And it's what's going to work right now. And then it just gives you the time to really make the changes happen.
Yeah.
So,
Do you feel like you stopped yourself from being emotionally attached so you can do all these pivots, or were you just like emotionally invested the whole time?
I am the emotionally invested one. My husband, even though
like
on paper he is just a stylist in the salon, but before he was a hairdresser, he was kind of like my HR. He was making sure that like people's paperwork were filled out. We had their like copies of their driver's license and their social security card. He was doing payroll for me and everything. So when he came in as a stylist, he is the one that's like cut and dry. Like, you know, he can have the conversations with the stylist where I'm like, oh my God, like, are they going to take me the wrong way? Because I'm so passionate about what I do.
Okay.
Because literally, because we're now in our third location. So we just moved into this location last September. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
We move a lot. Like I said, I pivot.
That is great. Okay, that's fine. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So then this is like, to me, I feel like this is all success. Everything I'm hearing is just success, success. What has been your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
I would say not willing to, in certain circumstances, not willing to pivot and losing some people. That, in hindsight, I could have just given a little bit, and whether it be freedom or whatever, or an increase, and losing that person. At the end of the day, like, I had to learn that, like, okay, maybe they didn't sell enough shampoo, but it doesn't mean that they're not doing good hair and they should have a higher price.
Right.
So that was kind of where, like, I was trying to, like, when I go all in, I go all in. I'm like, I'm very much you have to know the rules before you can break them. So I'm still in like, these are the rules. This is the structure. Like, now that we've been with Summit for like, I think 4 or 5 years now, that I'm willing to kind of like, okay, this isn't serving us, but how do we still keep the structure, but then make it work for us? And everything. And that goes back to pivoting. But I think that's probably my biggest downfall and biggest regret, is not willing to bend for some people and trying to stay by the book and by the rules that we had set place. And, you know, I lost out on some really good talent. And they're wildly successful.
But you know, that's such a good learning lesson, I think, for all of us as salon owners, right? Because whether they're renters or they are the employees, the commission stylists, like, they expect so much from us. And then to hear us just be real and raw, like, you know what? Sorry, I screwed up.
No,
I'm human. Right. I'm doing the best that I can, just like you. So sorry if you hate me.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
People love to hate me. And I think that's where we kind of are right now, is like, because we're in a position where, like, now I'm dealing with younger stylists that want this like work-life balance, which, you know, I'm honest with them. We were in a meeting when we were doing the whole move, and I was like, I understand that you guys subscribe to work-life balance. I do not subscribe to it. I was like, for me, if I'm not giving something 100%, then I'm not giving it everything. So when I'm focus on something, I'm going to give it 100%. Whether it's like my clients behind the chair, I'm going to give them 100%. And my personal life is going to take a backseat to that.
Mm.
Like other things are going to take a backseat to that. A lesson I had to learn is like I can't focus solely on my clients because I still have the salon over here full of clients that I have to focus on too.
Yeah.
So there's a weird balance with that. But with them wanting this time off, and I'm like, okay, well, what you're doing, if you just worked a longer day, you could have another day off. So let's look at like maybe we open on a Monday.
Yeah.
And then we're at the point to where we have 13 chairs. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
One is mine. So 12 chairs
12.
technically.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then on like days where like people have off, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, there's like 4 empty chairs because everybody's taken off today, or they've, done their time request off and they're out of town. And I'm like, as an owner, I'm seeing empty chairs and I'm just kind of like, oh God, we're going to close the doors. Not the case. But I'm at that point to where like, I like to pivot. You want time off. That's great. You can do 4 or 5 days of work in 3 days. So let's change your schedule. Let's work longer shifts. Let's focus on those 3 days. And then now I have 3 days that I can fill that chair with somebody else and help building their career. So now we're looking at that double shifting the chairs and like
Love it.
which is, it's smart.
Yeah.
Do I want the stress of it? Not really. And they get stylists that are kind of like, they don't work together. So there's like, when you have like group gatherings, they're getting to know each other for the first time. Because before this space, we had an original space that we started in. And then after COVID, we outgrew it.
Yeah.
And so there just happened to be a salon space. We were on the second and third floor of a building. And it was a courtyard. And on the other side of that courtyard, on the street level, was what had been a salon. So it was the same group. And they were like, well, if you need more space, look at this space. And I was like, looked at it and I was like, no, I don't like it. And then about a month later, I ended up taking it. And so
I don't like it. Give it to me
we're
anyway.
working out of this one and then going into this one. So
Okay.
3 months I was able to renovate that one.
Yeah.
No rent. And then so we opened in June of that year, and then we were going to let the other space go. We had like a year left on that lease, so we were just using it as storage. Well, during that time, we're hybrid. So we have commission and we have rental. Well, then I'm doing business coaching and I'm like, well, this chair is worth this much. And we're on street level and we're getting walk-in clients now. Like, we're busy. And I'm like, I need to fill this with more commission. So I was like, one of my renters was like, it's so busy over here. What if we just went back next door? And I was like, the lease is almost up and I don't want to keep it. And I was like, but if you guys are willing to like say that you're not going anywhere and everything, then I'll keep the lease over there. We'll put all the renters over there and then we'll keep all the commission over here. So at one point in the street location, we had 13 stylists, and then we had, oh my God, the other space we had like, I think maybe 8 renters.
Wow.
And we were operating 2 spaces at one time, one solely booth rental and one all commission. And then we were downtown Charleston. We were blocked off of King Street, and parking is becoming an issue. And so it was just kind of like, okay, we're having a hard time parking. Clients are having a hard time parking. This isn't serving us anymore. We're also bringing people from all over the surrounding Charleston area into the busiest part of Charleston. Carriage tours, like tourists going up and down one-way streets the wrong way.
Yeah.
No parking available. So I just started looking. I was like, we need to find a better space. And I started looking, and the space that we moved, this space, it's one of my clients' old offices. And we're in a building that's just all office buildings and everything. So the space that we're in was like 2 offices with a conference room and everything. So I looked at it. It was definitely downsizing, but I just wanted to get back to the focus of why we're here, back to hair, like back to the connections with people. And so we ended up, I bought out the one lease on the street level. Was like, okay, like I have to buy 3 months of my remaining lease. Cool. And we actually got somebody to take over that one. And then I have subleasers in the other one. And it's like a fitness studio now. But we left those 2 spaces And when I say like our overhead was insane. Like our rent for the 2 spaces was like 16 grand a month. Yeah.
Dying.
So we downsized into 1,500 square feet, completely open, nothing but windows. We're on a 3rd floor of a building that overlooks an outdoor music venue.
Love it.
So, and we
I
get
love
people like
that.
Jesse McCartney. Like, I mean, this past weekend was a Grateful Dead cover band. Like, and so constantly, I mean, I'm going to see Paul Oakenfold and the Crystal Method literally
This
steps
is,
outside of our front door of the salon.
it's like right there. Be like,
So,
hey.
like right there, like literally right there. So,
This
and then
is,
we have wraparound balcony. So like our clients can sit outside on the balcony and like have a cocktail while they're processing or
yeah.
waiting or anything. So it was, and then light was key. Free
Yeah.
parking everywhere around us.
Oh, good.
And then just really thinking about like what is the easiest for our clients? How do we make our clients' life easy? And then how do we make our stylists' life easy too? So
You
some of
see,
them, when we were downtown, they were paying like upwards of like $28 a day just to park to come to work. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
so
Like
I'm
pivoting.
really pivoting.
Pivot.
If for the salon owners watching or listening to this episode, like, let this be your permission slip to just do what you got to do.
Do what you gotta do.
Mac,
Absolutely.
this is all you. Okay, so really quick, because I know we got to wrap up, but I love,
No, you're good.
this is my favorite question ever. So what has been your most favorite insult that you have gotten that is like your driver?
It's kind of funny because how we kind of connected was from a post.
Yeah, it was.
Of an AI photo. Kind of, scrolling another incredibly
AI.
talented hairdresser.
Yes.
An incredibly
100.
talented hairdresser.
100.
But do I believe he actually did her hair? No, I do not. So I think and this is just like the most recent, but being called an old man, like,
Are you serious?
I'm trying too hard that I need to give up and everything. And I'm like, I'm 40. I'll be 46 next month. Like, I'm not old by
You're
any means. Like,
fabulous.
Did my beard turn white during COVID? Yes, because I was stressed. Has the rest of my hair turned white? It's getting there.
Silver fox.
But
Silver
no,
fox.
like, I mean, I think that's the biggest one is like, is kind of like old man, kind of like settle down. And I mean,
and who said that? A Gen Zer?
Random people on Threads. I ended up deleting my Threads account because it's a really dark, scary place over there.
I got into it on Threads too.
I'm just like, I can't deal with this anymore. I literally looked at my husband and I was like, if I ever wanted my own show, like about a salon, if I ever wanted any type of fame whatsoever, I don't want it now, ever. Like, ever. Like, people can be so cruel. They have no idea who I am. Like, they can just be so cruel on the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it kind of made me like want to like stop posting stuff on social media and everything. But thank God I have an amazing social media manager who is incredible. And she was like, no, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
Good for her. That's
like,
great.
That one, the picture you posted, that was like, you went rogue with that one. And I was sitting there one, I was like, I have to troll this. I was like, because I don't believe it. And it was so easy to make a photo, but then it kind of scared me. I'm like, oh my God, is this the future of our industry? Like, saying I did somebody's hair and I didn't really do their hair. Like, how easy it was for me to add Britney Spears into a photo that I took in a mirror when I was doing the Southern Hospitality reunion in New York. And I was just like, it was really scary. And I ended up doing one where I added Chris onto it. And I was like, look, Chris was here too.
I saw that.
But Instagram would not let me post it. It would not let me post that one with the two of us.
I saw something and I was like, am I missing something? And it was. I got AI duped. I did.
But no.
It happened.
So, I mean, I think that's like, I think if anybody's ever said anything about me, I've been spared from hearing it. Like,
thank God.
I definitely know in the Charleston area that like either people see me as a leader or people see me as a threat. where I've never been a threat. Like I just posted, I'm looking for a co-stylist. I don't care if you work at another salon. You
Yeah.
can work at another salon, but if you want to learn and grow and master in some of the things that like I specialize in,
Mm-hmm.
then come on.
Yeah.
Like I don't see a problem with it, but other salons are going to see a problem with it. But then I also offered that out to like people that are independents that do have a suite. Like, come on, like it can get really lonely in those suites.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So if you're like wanting to get into extensions, if you're wanting like I haircut focused for me
And you've
and
been there.
extensions.
You've literally been there. You've done it. You know, speaking from
Yes.
experience, it can get
Yes.
lonely.
It can get very, very, very lonely. And then like trying to text your friend that works in another suite or another salon, like, hey, I have this redhead, I'm having this problem. It could be 3 hours before they text. Like you don't
Yeah.
have anybody to bounce that off of.
Yeah.
So I love the salon that I created. We're very education focused, but also like watching them bounce things off of each other all day long. Like, you know, one's really good at redheads, but this one's got a redhead on her book. Like, hey, what would you do? This is what I would do looking at it. Like, and to see that collaboration all day long
Yeah.
is really beautiful. Because I think that's what this industry is about. It's not about competition.
Mm-mm.
So,
not anymore. At least not in today's. It's about let's learn from each other because there's a lot of stuff happening in this world. Like let's just chill out.
chill.
So
And
with that,
I always see it as like if we all raise the bar together, we all rise.
Yeah.
We all rise.
Exactly.
So
So with that, of course, we're going to have all of your contact links in the show notes. But really quickly, how can stylists get in touch with you? How can clients come and see you? How do they get involved with Mac McAbee and Coven and all of that?
I mean, shoot me a DM on my Instagram. I'm never on Facebook, so don't send me a message on Facebook. All my stuff goes there and posts, and then I never see it again. Or just give us the salon a call. Like, you know, if you're a client, call the salon. We'll get you on my book. If you're a stylist that's like just wanting more education or just wanting to be involved in the community that we've been creating and everything, then just reach out to me on Instagram. Like, I handle my own Instagram. I have somebody that helps me post, but like I respond to every DM, every email, everything. It's on me.
He does.
So,
He's very responsive. I would know.
I'll be in the parking lot of Lowe's, just kind of like
there was like in the middle of the street.
Yeah, there was like that one thing that everybody, all the hairdressers were doing, like the random places that you're standing when you're booking appointments or whatever. And I'll be in the middle of the grocery store looking for coffee, and then I'm like, okay, let me find a place for you. And like I'm like always holding people up by doing
Yes.
that. Or like I'll be in the middle of a conversation with my husband, and he's like, are you tuned in anymore? Like, where'd you go?
No.
And I was like, oh, this person just texted me. He was like, you just checked me out like nobody's business.
Boring. Hold on.
I'm sorry, that's more important right now. So let's get them in there. So
I love it.
And then, you know, and like just, you know, yeah. But reach out to me, and I'm an open book. I don't gatekeep anything. So
I love
think
it.
Gatekeeping is the worst thing in the world.
It's not a good look.
That's not how we learn.
Nope. Mac, thank you so much for coming on the BeautyPro podcast. Oh my God.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Everybody watching, listening, make sure you go follow him. Make sure you send him a DM. Go check out Coven Hair Salon. I love it. Okay. And until next time, everybody.
Awesome.